right, Eagles Nation, welcome back into the channel. Today we are going to be previewing the upcoming matchup. The 2-0 Los Angeles Rams travel to Philadelphia to take on the 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles. I'm shocked this is a 1 p.m. kickoff. We got the Sunday night game being Giants and Chiefs. We had Thursday night game being Bills and Dolphins. The Monday night game is actually pretty sweet, but I'm surprised that this was slotted away at 1 p.m. on Fox. But here we are, Philly, with a 1 p.m. game, a divisional playoff rematch. We beat the Rams in that playoff game by less than a touchdown. So it's a really competitive game. And you look back to the Rams season last year, since week, I believe, 11, the only team to beat them healthy was the Philadelphia Eagles. Did it twice. One game, blowout fashion. Saquon Barkley has a career night against them in SoFi. And then, of course, the playoff game, Saquon again was really, really special. But I thought it was an overall really great team performance. Jalen Carter with the sack to save the game. Jalen Hurts had that rushing touchdown to open the game. Really good stuff. This week, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm nervous. I have a bad feeling about this week. I have a bad feeling that the Eagles offense hasn't been dynamic the first 2 weeks, but they've got by on having just much more talent than their opponents. And now in a team in the Rams that stacks up similarly to us talent-wise, I still think the Eagles have an overall more talented roster, but the Rams are the closest that we've seen from an opponent, that the scheming of McVay on that offense is going to be too much for Patullo and Philadelphia to keep up with and overcome, especially if the game plan is similar to what we did versus Dallas, where Quinyon Mitchell is going to shadow the outside receiver Davante Adams, and Adoree Jackson is going to be the main guy guarding Puka Nacua. I have really big concern that Stafford, McVay, Nacua are going to be able to expose Philly's defense and expose Adoree Jackson, and maybe in the long run, getting punched in the mouth in this game could be good for Philly to realize, like, hey, this operation is only on the back of talent. I don't want to officially say that like we're in 2023 vibes, but it's not. Let's look at the preview of this game. Again, ESPN matchup predictor has us with a 57.5% chance to win. The odds, Philly opened at -3.5. They're still -3.5, over under 44.5. So Vegas kind of expects this game to be 24-20 Eagles. It's not a bad prediction. You look at some of the season stats. Matt Stafford, obviously, off to a pretty solid start to the year through 2 games, 543 passing yards, 44-62 with 3 touchdowns and a pick. Jalen Hurts, 253 passing yards only through 2 games. Doesn't have a passing touchdown yet on the season. We are the first team in 25 years to open up a season 2-0 without a passing touchdown in those games. Fun fact, Saquon Barkley's obviously going to be massive in this game. Saquon was massive both times that Philly beat the Rams last season. He's got 40 carries for 148 yards. Obviously it's been solid, but it hasn't been the MVP offensive player of the year caliber player we've known Saquon to be. 2, I think, pretty solid defensive fronts in terms of stopping the run in Dallas and Kansas City. I think Saquon could potentially get loose this week, but the Rams don't have a joke of a defensive line. You have Byron Young, Jared Verse, Poona Ford, Braden Fisk, like a really solid, really awesome young defensive line. They didn't have Poona Ford last year, who was the #1 run stopper for the Chargers defense last year. So, something there. Puka's obviously been eating to open up the season. 18 catches for 221 yards. Devonta Smith is the Eagles' leading receiver through 2 weeks with 69 receiving yards. Obviously, a big thing for Philly is they have to get Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown more involved. And I think this week, more than any so far this season, is going to call for that to be the case, because to keep pace with the Rams and Puka and Devontae and Kyren and Stafford and McVay, it's not going to be able to just sit on Saquon and, we'll try and go win this game 17-14. Like, they're going to have to put up points, I think, to win this game, and they're going to have to keep pace. And I do think it could come down to whichever team has the most explosive plays does squeak out this game. It could be a 24-21 type situation, but explosive plays are going to matter. And Philly just hasn't gotten them yet at this point in the season. Byron Young, like I mentioned, he has 3 sacks. Ajomo has 1. Bond, obviously. Zach Bond helped us win that first game. It was Jalen and Bond, and it was Jalen from a rushing perspective. We look at the injury reports here for the Rams. Colby Parkinson, questionable. Braden Fisk, questionable. Akilo Witherspoon on the IR. It's one of their top 2 corners. So, again, you figure Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown should be able to eat in this matchup if Jalen Hurts gets some time and if Jalen Hurts can make the right decisions. And then for Philly, nothing too crazy. Dallas Goedert, knee questionable. It looks like he's going to play. I felt like they really missed him last week in terms of picking up chunk plays over the middle. So it should be good to see Goedert back out there. And yeah, again, both of these teams are 2-0 to open up the season for a reason. They're both really solid squads. I don't think this is necessarily the last time we even play the Rams this year. I could easily see this being a playoff game as well. I think in the first time in the history of this channel, I'm picking against Philly, man. I just have a bad feeling about this game. And maybe I'm being too pessimistic, too hard on the guys. I did put a video out on the channel kind of saying, like, let's give Kevin Patullo and the offense some time. And I do stand by that. But based on what I've seen so far from both of these teams, I don't think Philly is playing their A-plus level game, and the Rams have looked buttoned up to open the year. Stafford looks healthy. Puka and Devonta both have had pretty big games at this point in the season, and they're kind of rolling where I expect them to be. They feel like they're in midseason form, and we just don't. We just don't feel that way. And coming off of a big win in Arrowhead, another big game, I just think eventually it's going to catch up to Philly. If they could leave an opening stretch of Thursday night ring night versus Dallas, with the Jalen Carter spitgate and him thrown out and all the emotions there, going to Arrowhead, Super Bowl rematch, Kansas City beating them, and then the Rams, if they could start that 3-0, nobody can question the mental fortitude of this team by any means. But I don't think it's going to happen. I am picking the Rams to win this game 24-21. I think that they're able to just get a couple bigger plays in crunch time than we're able to because of their scheme at this point in time, and I think they're able to get in field goal range at the end of this game, and they win on a walk-off field goal. I hope I'm wrong. Let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. If you love the Philadelphia Eagles, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.